which I did play through. I don't really remember it that well, other than it was a pretty good adventure remake. So either Adventure or Nightmare in Dreamland, maybe the best, I guess, traditional Kirby games. Is that what you're saying, Audrey? Maybe.
Yeah, probably
Okay.
Adventure.
Anyone would
me,
agree with that?
yeah.
I mean,
Sure.
you have to stray far from Adventure.
I agree with everything.
Okay. Chris
makes
is
things easy.
non-confrontational.
Nope. Switzerland.
Kirby's Dream Land 2 for
Yeah.
the Game Boy came out May 1st, 1995, and introduces 4 of Kirby's friends who are... Okay, this is the least creative name for an animal friend.
Yeah.
Rick the Hamster. Richard the Hamster.
I love it.
Rick
Richard the Hamster.
Well, hey, Sonic has Ray the Squirrel.
That's true.
So.
That was not creative either.
Richard Q. Hamster. MD.
Ku the owl and Kine the ocean sunfish, and basically, I don't know if I was supposed to say Kine or
it's
Kine.
probably- yeah, maybe.
Okay.
We don't know if it's DDD or Dedede.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so
Adult
we need
sleeve.
a linguist in here.
It's DDD, folks. DDD.
See,
Ronan
now
the
you're probably
Gauntlet.
feeling pretty good about Rick, right? I mean, nice, simple name.
Yes. I'm not going to insult Rick anymore. He's pretty cool. So anyways, Kirby has animal friends in here, and riding on them or within them, as is the
Yeah.
case with the sunfish. And whenever Kirby's in the fish, he looks very uncomfortable.
Wouldn't you
Oh.
be?
When you ride the animals with Kirby, the powers change somewhat, which is a pretty
Right.
interesting element, which would be expanded upon in later Kirby games.
I think the cutest thing is that when you have an umbrella with Rick,
I
and
know
you push up, he'll start to bounce Kirby on the umbrella.
that
Yeah,
that is
that's
cute.
it.
Like he's a beach
Yeah,
ball.
I could do that forever.
These animal friends didn't really stick around for very long. I guess they're only really in Dreamland 3, which we'll talk about later. But they did change up the, I guess, established mechanic of, we have sucking and spitting out stuff. We have changing forms. Now you can combine with the animals to change the forms even further. Now, have you guys played this? I mean, I really didn't when it came out. I think by 1995, I was way into like JRPGs and mature games for the time.
Well, that was that Play It Loud ad you're talking about. so of
oh,
course.
was that for Kirby 2 or Kirby 1?
It was Kirby 2.
Okay.
Yeah. So you had to buy it because it was hardcore.
Right.
Obviously.
So you buy your Pearl Jam CD
Yeah,
and
exactly.
at Sam Goody with your Kirby game. So yeah, anybody comment on this? Some of us haven't played because there are a lot of Kirby games. Me, haven't played it. Ray enjoys Rick the Hamster's antics.
yeah.
Chris and Audrey, anything?
Yeah, I thought it was a solid game. I enjoyed it.
I didn't play it, but I've been inspired by PETA to point out that this game exploits animals.
Hey.
Much
and
like
that-
Mario 3D Land.
Much like Mario 3D Land, people do not ride your hamster.
Those animals were complicit in
Your
in,
hamster has rights,
What
and
if
if you
they
try
like
to ride
it?
no, your hamster will explode. It will be gross.
Yeah, and don't go
That does
swimming with
sound
it
gross.
either. I
Don't-
mean, at least climb inside a sunfish.
Just
Yeah.
don't do that. Don't get inside fish. Fish have rights.
But what if they ask you?
Keep your laws
Okay, off my fish's body.
off my fish's body.
Thank
you.
God.
What if they consent?
Let's move on before this gets creepier.
Hamsters cannot consent.
To
This is going weird places.
I know. That's why I'm trying to change the subject.
I am making a valid political argument.
Let's talk about Kirby Superstar for the SNES. Now we're talking about what the best Kirby game is. This could be it, although I like Adventure the best. But this came out for September 1996. Not a late SNES game. Would not be the last Kirby game for the SNES.
Yeah,
though.
wasn't even the latest.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Remake for the DS. Right?
I don't think that's right, is it?
What's
What?
that?
Superstar 96?
That is. I did some thorough research.
That's what
Are you
Wikipedia
thinking
said, in other
95?
words.
Are you thinking
I
95?
think like 94.
Are you sure?
I'm
Let's put Ray to the test. Somebody jump on the internet. Audrey.
Oh God, here
Audrey,
we go.
I'll task you with that.
We
Thank you.
actually-
This is like that shitty phone commercial from AT&T with the guy at the diner trying to.
Anyways,
I may start editing the Wikipedia pages before you research these shows.
Oh, to
just
make sure I'm
see if
right.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I will do that. But anyways, September possibly '96, and it came out for the
Whatever.
DS. It came out for the DS September 22nd, 2008.
Yeah.
And it's a very very late era SNES game, and it shows. Just like with Kirby's Adventure, it was clear that HAL had totally figured out the Super NES's architecture and was
96.
exploiting it. Thank you,
Yes.
Ray.
If you're just looking at the same thing he is, then we're not going to get anywhere.
I'll give
right,
you
let
$5
me see it.
later, Audrey.
I consulted Sakurai himself.
Wow, we are getting diverted.
Yeah.
Let's talk about what's in Kirby Superstar. There are 8 games within the game, and it's not like Action 52. These are 8 real games. So we have Spring Breeze. That's essentially a truncated remake of Kirby's Dream Land, for all intents and purposes. We have Dynablade, which is a brand new Kirby game. Nothing extremely notable, just another Kirby game. We have Gourmet Race, which is sort of like Sonic 2's Versus stages, where you race King DDD, and you pick up food along the way. Megaton Punch is basically like Mortal Kombat's Test Your Might, but with more like a golf game style power meter. There's Samurai Kirby, which is basically a remake of the Quick Draw minigame from Kirby's Adventure, except you are equipped with swords instead of guns. The Great Cave Offensive, which is basically sort of like a slightly non-linear Kirby game where you're tasked with finding 60 different treasures, and your score is based on how many you find before you finish the game.
It's a bit of a Metroidvania.
Really?
No.
Oh, okay.
But you go around and collect things, and you can go out of sequence and stuff.
Yes, yes, that's partially right. It does. I like the Great Cave Offensive.
Yeah.
Revenge of Meta Knight is an ultra melodramatic adventure where Kirby fights his way onto Meta Knight's ship, the Halberd, and it ends with a Metroid-style escape sequence. And there's also Milky Way Wishes, where Kirby plays the mediator, trying to make peace between the sun and the moon, which are, constant rivals.
We've all been there.
Yeah. And there's no copy ability in this game, actually, and it's Kirby touches power-ups in order to gain them, and they sort of like sit in a kind of store like in Mega Man, where once you collect an ability, you can call it up at any point. So yeah, and it ends with a shoot-'em-up sequence of all things. So yeah, it's a fantastic game that shows that HAL was really trying to play with the limited mechanics of the Kirby series in many different ways. How do we feel about this game?
Well, I'm going to be the odd one out and say that I was slightly underwhelmed by it. Because I thought a lot of the games were too similar and kind of like not totally appealing to me. Like, I don't really like Great Cave Offensive despite the name. So,
You don't
Offends
like?
you.
It just wasn't, the idea wasn't executed that well?
no, it's just that I'm not good at it. Like, I don't like going around and trying to collect all the treasures. I mean,
But it
you
has-
can beat it without doing that, but it's just like...
It has
then you
Earthbound-related
feel-
items in it.
Whoop-de-doo.
I mean, that's why I like it. All right.
Come on, Bob.
I'm sad. Chris?
I never played it. I know.
Shame.
No, seriously, it's definitely it's in the lifetime pile of shame for me because
Okay.
I know every time it comes up, people are like, "Oh man, that was the best game and it was so original and it did all this stuff," and I was like, I never played it. Is it on Virtual Console?
Is it? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is because of the DS remake,
yeah.
Okay.
I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong.
Can I have your phone again? Do you still have the Wikipedia page open?
This is going to be like constant challenges.
I don't know. Well, I mean, if
no,
it's
no.
on-
I mean, if we can provide information.
Exactly.
Yeah. Audrey,
Let's see.
have you
Go
played
for it.
Kirby
I'm on the
Superstar?
Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
so
I
go
really
ahead.
liked it. I
You
thought it
liked
was really.
I'll say
Did you
this.
play the
Yeah.
the
It's good.
remake?
Dude, I played the original.
Okay.
A long time ago.
Did anyone play the remake?
I didn't play the remake at all.
Yeah.
More or less the same.
Yeah.
It has a couple of extra mini games and
It
stuff.
has CGI cutscenes
Whoa.
and touch-based games. Who cares?
I mean,
And-
I'll give it this. I mean, Superstar is a really good 2-player.
Oh, okay.
Good co-op stuff in it.
Yeah. Nice. So do we have a confirmation on whatever we were trying to look up? I totally forget what it even
In
was.
fact, it came out in 2010 on the U.S. Virtual Console.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you have to pay extra for it, like the $1 Nintendo tax?
No, I don't think so. I
Okay.
think you just pay the standard Super Nintendo, like freaking $8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good because I paid $9 for Chrono Trigger for some reason.
That was the Square Enix.
Oh, that's the
tax.
Square Enix tax. Yeah, sorry
that's
about
not
that.
the Nintendo tax.
Yeah, Nintendo, you're off my shit list.
Yeah.
Let's move on to Kirby's Dream Land 3. Yes, it came out in 1997, the end of 1997, November,
Right.
when most of us were, I guess, playing Final Fantasy VII probably. I
Yeah,
guess.
we certainly weren't playing anything on our N64s. That's for goddamn
We had
sure.
moved on from Kirby, and
We realized that for the price of just 2 Nintendo 64 games, we could buy a PlayStation.
yes,
Yeah.
and with much better and cheaper games too.
This was a lot
You can't play Ocarina of Time on there, can you?
Um,
Can you? You can't.
You have a good point.
Yeah, but that wouldn't be out for another year.
Yeah.
True.
Mm-hmm.
True.
So
We had to do something.
You had to
Yes.
do something in
And
the
that's something
meantime.
was
I
Final
respect
Fantasy
that.
Something had to be done.
Yeah.
And exactly. That was what it was.
It should be mentioned at this point that Kirby usually closes out a console or portable's life cycle, and it was the case with this one where,
really weird.
yeah,
It's the case with the Wii.
yeah, oh
Yeah,
jeez,
I mean,
that's true.
And then
We'll go into all this stuff. So, animals from Dreamland 2 return, along with Choo Choo the pink blob, Pitch the bird, and Nago the cat. Kirby also has a sidekick named Gooey, who comes
Yes.
out of his body. I don't even know what the
This
hell.
is awesome.
Gooey seems like a parasite, not a
Yeah.
friend. And I guess you can summon him by using 1 square of life, and he acts as a CPU helper who eats things for you, and I guess
Yeah.
you can transform him into different things. You can gain some abilities.
I don't recall that.
Okay.
but
Right.
Yeah, he's basically just a little co-op drone.
I guess this uses a special chip or something like that because it has a similar graphical style to Yoshi's Island, but it's not as drastic.
Well.
It looks like a child's drawing the entire game. I don't think it goes as far as it could have, really, but it looks pretty nice for a 16-bit game.
Yeah. I don't think you need a
And-
chip for that, though.
I was reading it had a special, weird, pixel dithering chip that,
Oh.
something like that, or some
You're
sort of weird
making that up,
technology.
aren't
no, I'm... Listen.
It was probably for, rendering a menu icon or something.
Oh, yeah. No, I read it had some weird sort of, high-res mode.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
that's possible.
Okay.
It sounds like
The sun and the moon. It's not 4 times. It's huge. It's like beach ball to a pea type dimensions.
Which DJ was it? Do you remember on Virgin?
I can't remember, but it was the one on sort of about 11 o'clock.
Oh, I
Wouldn't want to be
him
him. Yeah, he's embarrassed himself,
He's
hasn't
embarrassed
he?
himself.
When we do
Everyone's-
quizzes, we never get anything wrong.
That's true enough.
During that track, I'm chilling out. I'm loving it, aren't I? Carl goes, "Do you know how baguettes came about?"
Do you know how baguettes come about?
I went, "Go on," and Steve went, "No, save it."
Wait a minute though, I'm thinking, Rick, people are going to be desperate to know the answer to that. Why don't we play some ads and some music and stuff?
It's like a cliffhanger.
Exactly. How did baguettes come about?
Whatever he says is going to be good, isn't
Stay
it?
tuned to XFM to find out.
Hives. Hate to say I told you so. So I love that sort of stuff. That and the Strokes. So much better than this new metal rubbish, isn't it?
Definitely.
Now, most people think we talk rubbish on air.
Yep.
If they could hear the conversations
Off
that
air.
go on, I know, but someone just emailed in saying the sun is indeed about that DJ must have looked it up and said 400 times. That can't be right. It's probably a printing error. 4 times. Nothing can be 400 times bigger than the moon. Carl went, yeah, but the sun, it's only got 1 million years, isn't it? I went, what? He went, on that space program, it said that in 1 million years the sun will be destroyed, and he said, and then we're all shafted. Right? I went, I laughed. Steve went, no, it's okay. By then, we'll be on another planet.
No, I think that's
Yeah.
true. We'll have colonised
Right?
other planets.
Carl went, yeah, but there'll be no sun. Steve went, well, there's other suns, which is true. Carl went, well, I went, well, yeah, every star is a sun. Carl went, well, not really. Not
love
really.
the
Don't believe that, do you? And I went, no, it is. The sun is just a star. It's not even a particularly big star. Carl went, well, why didn't they say that instead of worrying me? Instead of worrying me.
In 1 million years' time.
Yeah.
I love the idea of Carl. He's been preserved, brought back to life, and is now the ruler of the world.
Just a head in
Yeah.
a fish tank. I'm Pilkington.
The reason you became king of the universe, of course, is because of your fascinating French bread anecdote.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What
Come
was
on
the
then.
story?
How did baguettes come about? If this is going to be someone cooked a loaf a bit wrong and said I can still make a sandwich out of it, I'm going to hit you.
that it?
No.
Go on then.
Right. Napoleon, when he was at war and that with Russia,
1812. Yeah.
yeah, all his soldiers were like, not used to the cold weather and that. So they said, take some clothes in your bag with you because it's going to be
Chilly.
nippy
Yeah.
out there. So they put all the clothes in the bag.
Sure.
Do what they were told.
Thought,
It's Napoleon, for Christ's sake.
No room for any food.
No,
You're joking.
So
Couldn't they make some sort of sandwich?
no, it wouldn't fit because of all the clothes. You had to take extra gear.
Sure.
for them. So anyway, he said,
I can see where
know.
this is going. I'll be honest.
Is there a baguette-shaped gap left in their holdall?
They thought, let's make some bread.
What?
That's not true. No, it's not. Carl.
Euston train station. I was waiting to go back to Manchester.
Where did you read these?
Scrawled on the wall in graffiti.
Yeah.
Do you know the
Was it
upper-
also meet me here for cock fun at 12 o'clock?
The upper crust sandwich shop, Euston Station. It's on the wall.
What do you mean it's on the wall?
Do you know how it says like sail on at Dixon's, whatever?
Yeah.
Next to that, there was like a bit of information. Once you've read the stuff on
I
Dixon's,
get information.
there was a big thing about the history of the baguette. I read it and I thought,
No, we got to make a sandwich we can spit down our trouser leg.
But how can you march and fight with a huge piece of bread down your train?
Although it would be intimidating. You see them coming, you go, sacre bleu, look at the size of them. They're big fellas. Well,
Blimey. I can't help but feel that could be a practical joke at your expense.
I
yeah.
didn't do that.
Well, the Earl of
Do you ever
Sandwich...
question
the
anything
Earl-
you read? If it's
No.
printed up, is that,
Yeah.
like, fact for you then?
Well, it's not funny. I mean, if they were trying to be funny, it's like, it's not, is it? So it's information.
Have you heard us? Things sometimes want to be funny when they're not.
That's exactly what happened with the sandwich. The Earl of Sandwich wanted some... It was those triangle cut sandwiches wrapped in cling film. Were perfect. You might be right. You might be right.
I am.
Because the Cornish pasty, so they could drop it down the mines, isn't it?
Is it?
They wrapped it up in a... Atheists, we don't believe in ghosts, anything like that, anything supernatural. We're followers of James Randi, a genius of our times, but Carl saw something that proved us wrong. I'd like Carl to tell you what this proof was, what he saw it on, and look at him. Go on then.
It was on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
I was watching. You see, the problem is I didn't get the full story, so you could pick holes out of it.
Sure.
But I was
Unlike your usual investigations into the supernatural.
Which are
It was
thorough.
called, can I just say what the programme was called?
Mr. Exorcist.
Oh, brilliant.
So
Sounds like an academic work to me.
Yes.
the bit that I caught, I just flicked it over, sort of seeing what's on the telly, and I thought, oh, Exorcist, I've seen it, but there's nothing else, and I watch it, and then I realised it wasn't the same thing.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I'll have a bit of this. And there was an old, and as far as I was aware, the bit I picked up on, they were saying, oh, you know, it's dreadful, and unless you've been through it, you know, you've had ghosts in your house and that, you really don't know what it's like.
Yeah, sure.
And the main thing that seemed to be getting them down was the fact that the budgie was getting stressed.
The budgie was getting stressed.
Because animals can sense the other side,
Oh,
can't
okay.
they?
Can they?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
And how was that manifesting itself? You don't know. What was the budgie doing?
I think it just wasn't happy.
Right. Did it explain that to people, or
No,
how
do you
did
know,
it express that?
budgies are known for being chirpy, aren't they?
I see, and it
And
wasn't chirping.
It you know, it normally swings on its little perch and that. And
Just depressed because it was
Right.
possessed.
It was just sat around in its pajamas.
so
No, come on,
So
Steve.
the-
Come on, Steve. You're making this a mockery. So the budgie was depressed because he could sense the ghost.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah,
this
yeah,
this guy, this Mr. Exorcist came round.
Was that his name?
Yeah,
Was he a priest or something?
yeah, he might have been.
He had like a black coat with a little white collar. That's usually the.
He had his coat on, so you couldn't tell.
No, sure. Okay.
But so he came round and he sort of did his thing,
Yeah.
and then
And was
the
he trying?
next shot,
Was he trying to exorcise the budgie?
No,
no,
the
the ghost.
house.
Right.
The
So
house,
it
yeah.
wasn't that the budgie
He
had a
was
demon or
clearing the
anything.
house
No.
out.
Okay.
No, this
So-
wasn't a possession, was it? This was a straightforward. It wasn't a poltergeist or anything. It was just a.
Well,
It's a
he
haunted house.
Yeah, but
Sure.
that's the thing he was saying. He was saying you can have like your ghouls and that aren't that bad, that aren't going to cause you any
Yeah.
problems.
Yeah,
But obviously the budgie, they've got weak hearts and that, haven't they? and
Sure.
I
So
don't know.
he go on. So how?
so anyway, basically he sorted it out, did whatever he did, and the next shot you see is like the budgie making a noise and swinging
It's
about.
happy
It's
again.
over the moon again, and the old woman was like happy because she was.
She
getting
couldn't believe it.
stressed.
Yeah.
And that's
Does the
it.
priest didn't come in and go, well, you should feed that bird. Give it a bit of millet. It was happy. He goes, right.
No,
See you
it's-
later. No. It was a. So
Because budgies are. My mum's got a budgie, and they you know, so it's got to be something very odd.
Right.
you never see a budgie sitting down going, I feel like topping myself, to be honest.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Though?
No.
Do you know
no.
you can have like a moody dog? You can see a dog when it's unhappy if it's walking down the street.
You can have a moody canary, can't you? And what they do is they often tell the police what you've been doing. They're known for that.
Mm.
Yeah.
So basically,
So that for you is proof that the supernatural exists. A bird in a cage got a little bit annoyed, wasn't chirping as much as it normally did. Who knows why? There could have been a little draft up its, you know. And
Cloaca.
exactly.
That's
Anyway,
a medical term.
Anyway, a man came in and did whatever he did.
Yeah.
to use your phrase.
Mr. Exorcist, though, Steve.
Yeah.
This wasn't any bloke off the street. This was Mr. Exorcist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
for you, that's the proof that there's.
Just because, like, if it was a person, you go, oh, they're playing up for the camera.
yeah,
you know,
a budgie could possibly act like that, Steve.
Yeah, I see what you mean. You're saying a budgie would not be trying to. It wouldn't be trying to become famous. or
No,
just want to
not
get on
like
the telly.
not like Lassie.
No, sure.
It was
sure.
basically a show off.
Yeah, or
So-
Champion the Wonder Horse.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think
I've.
and I think we should play a record.
I'd love to get Mr. Exorcist in. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Never dabble with things you don't understand,
Sorry.
like women. See what I did there?
Oh, he's turned that back on me. I've never had this sort of.
Steve was thinking he's not that ugly.
Ooh. Blimey, here we go. We were laughing at Carl. Can we focus on one person at a time, Rick, please? Let's destroy him first.
Oh God! Tell him what you said to me when that record was playing about the Jaffa Cakes. He bought some Jaffa Cakes, which was lovely. He went across the road and he handed out the Jaffa Cakes, and then I went, "Oh, thanks very much." And then what did you say?
I just remember learning at school. I'm not like making fun of the illness because it's not funny, but they cure cancer.
Jaffa Cakes cure cancer.
Not like fully.
Right. They just go some way to helping.
Yeah. Do you know? It'll sort of help. If you've got it, you can't say, right, get me a load of Jaffa Cakes.
Right.
But I think it sort of puts a bit of a stop to it if you haven't got it. Do you know what I mean? It's like
Steve Rubin, should we get Dr. Fox down here to confirm that?
I can't. I actually can't cope. You're just play a record. Play a record.
Can I just, if anyone has ever survived cancer thanks to Jaffa Cakes, please call in.
No, but I didn't say
He
that.
said, and then he went, it's the orange thing in it. And then he tried to read it. He said, I wonder if it's, and he tried to read out this scientific name. Farrah Munch, got ya. XFM 104.9. Well, as we promised, some feng shui. What do you want to know? Ratio of witness. It's one of those little books that you see at the sort of like the front desk of like Waterstones or Dillon's or one of those. And it's just it's a little guide. It's should I say what it is? I'm allowed, aren't I? Lillian Two's little book of feng shui. And obviously you can't go into it in depth, but it's some little, you know.
Just some little sort of nuggets, I suppose.
Yeah,
isn't it?
ratio of windows. The ratio of windows to doors in your rooms should not exceed 3-1. Too many windows calls all your love. Hello. It is also better not to have windows on the wall opposite the door.
Is that the case in your place, Carl? Because you may need to brick that up when you get back later.
I always remember I used to work nights.
Yeah.
Right. And it was when my brother just sort of got kicked out of the army.
Yeah.
And my mum and dad went away on holiday, so he was staying with us.
He's got to write a book, this bloke.
And,
You have got to write a book, Carl. Go
I
on.
came back,
Yeah.
and there was women everywhere. There's women in every bed in the house. I thought, where am I going to sleep?
Had he set up a brothel? What?
So no, it's just a bit of a one.
That's
so-
impressive, though. A girl in every single bed. I mean,
He was mad. So I slept on the sofa downstairs, and I didn't sleep that well.
yeah,
But I slept on it before when it was facing a different way,
sure.
and I had a good sleep.
So for you, that's
So-
proved the worth of feng shui.
Yeah, I think there's something in it.
Did you honestly think there's something in it, though?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Okay, well, just read a few of the others, Rick.
Okay, well,
Just-
it's not. I think most frog for luck. Look for a three-legged frog. You can buy one from any Chinese supermarket, and place it in the vicinity of your front door, facing inwards as if it has just come into the house. Don't place the frog facing the door. Please.
Oh, come on, people.
What?
Think before you place your frog.
I mean, this really is. I mean, but
What's the last page? Because that will be the most important one.
do you reckon?
the last one, I
The wealth vase. Make a wealth vase and keep it hidden in your cupboard. It can be made of gold, crystal, or glass. Can I just say something? If you've got a vase made of gold, you're probably all right for money anyway.
Yeah, sure.
Sure.
But this is the wealth vase. How to make the wealth vase?
Fill it with semi-precious stones and with soil taken from a rich man's garden.
So just find the soil of a rich man. Take some soil from the...
This is like bury a piece of steak and the water will go.
Yes.
I have a tooth of frog. This is.
It's the one where with the gods. Can you find that one?
Oh, where's that one? Yeah.
What do you make of feng shui, Carl?
Like I said, I didn't sleep well on the sofa when it was.
So for
facing
you,
the
that's
other way.
proof
So
positive.
yeah, you've got to get it right, haven't you?
I'd like Carl to read this out.
Okay.
Yeah, do you mind? Read it out. Just read it out loud.
Which one?
Yeah, the gods are here. Right. Okay.
Just read that. That's such a good
Invite
bit.
the
of
gods
Yeah,
of wealth into your home.
yeah,
The Chinese have several gods of wealth,
yeah.
which they display in their homes to attract what? Prosperity.
Prosperity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My personal favourite is T.C. Chi Yi,
Yeah.
who sits on a tiger.
He sits on a tiger.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait.
It's pretty difficult to find this fella.
Yep.
If you could use Kang Kung or the 3-star gods. Oh no.
Read him out.
Read out the names of the star gods.
F.U.K.
Read it out.
no,
Just
he's
read
a
out.
god.
It's a
He's a
Chinese
god.
god. You're
He's a
allowed to
Chinese
say
god.
Chinese god on the radio.
No.
You are allowed to say
Well, if you're allowed to
Chinese.
say it, you say it then.
Well, look. You're so immature.
Read the 3 of them out, Rick.
Okay. If he is, or the 3-star gods, Fuck, Luck, and Sal, all of whom bring wealth and prosperity.
Now, what were the names of the gods again? Because if I'm making a note at home, Rick,
Well,
I better...
it's a Chinese god.
Yeah, there's Quan Kun, or you can use Luk Sao.
You can't.
What? But it's a god. F-U-K. That's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I assume. I don't know if we're pronouncing it wrong. I really apologise.
Apologies if we're offending anyone who's of an Oriental persuasion. But that's Quan Kun, or Luk Sao, or Fuck. And any of those gods are available at a Chinese supermarket.
Near you.
Yeah. That's Feng Shui. It's an ancient art. You can't give me that look.
I mean, when you've been saying I've got a round head, I was a bit like, yeah, everyone has. Stop having a go.
Yeah.
And then I saw this picture last week. I thought, God, he's right.
Can't we
is
can't we just pop it on the XOM website?
I'd rather not.
I'll go on. Just get
Steve,
someone.
have you seen that man in a jar without a brain?
Sorry, is that something? Is that a product you can buy? In like Sainsbury's?
Is it a dream you had yesterday?
Man in
And you
a
wondered if
jar.
you could. Can I? Yes, hello. Could you make my dream into in plastic? Would be good.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In the
a man-
future, you'd be
a
able to
man-
download your dreams and then just like act them out again, probably in the year 2000 or something.
Soothsayer.
No, there's some museum somewhere
Yeah.
that's got this little fella who was born without a brain, and he's in a jar, and it's just that he's got a really round head.
Right.
And when I saw this picture, I thought, God, it just reminded me of this little fella in
Yeah.
a jar.
Oh, and what do you mean he's born without a brain?
He was born without a brain.
So it's a baby.
It's not a little fella.
Yeah, but it's working.
Do you know the difference? Do you have conversations with like people in prams thinking that fella's little and he doesn't talk much?
Yeah.
You know, babies aren't like little people.
Well, maybe...
Well, they are little people, but I mean they're not very small adults. They're not like midgets.
They don't do a job of work, is what Rick is saying.
yeah. You're very. No. What do you
I
mean?
didn't read about it, I just saw the picture. And
This
it
is
looked
where
like
you're
a
going
man.
wrong, Carl. This is always your mistake. You see the picture, you don't read the little caption.
But what do you
underneath.
mean? How do you think-
guess at what you think the meaning
But
is.
how did you know he didn't have a brain?
He said something like the brainless man.
yeah, but people say that about you. It doesn't mean you.
I bet somebody's seen it and knows what I mean. It's a famous picture. It's
Right,
like-
call in 08700 800 1234. Once again, you win a prize if you can tell us what Carl is talking about. Just in general. It's an ongoing competition. We're trying to find some CDs to anyone who knows what Carl is talking about. Stereophonics, Vegas, 2 times. Well, we've had calls confirming that there was indeed, a fetus, or a stillborn child.
A pickled
Born-
baby.
A pickled baby. No wonder it died. Born without a brain. But everyone has, you know, pointed out that it wasn't a little fella.
It certainly wasn't a little fella.
no.
But because it had been in the jar for a long time, I think it had aged a bit.
What are you basing that on?
You do carry on growing, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, your ears and your nose.
Your ears and your nose. And your eyes don't grow, so,
Yeah.
you could probably, yeah.
I'll dig it out for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if, like, there was an experiment where they were information that we said on the radio. What kind of a person
It was like
would they
download,
be?
yeah. And it
What kind of
just,
information would they
and
have?
it took everything literally.
Exactly.
Who needs enemies? Good question, lads. Nobody. 6FM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Oh,
with
they
you.
should print a little book of those. They're great. Oh, how you can relate any song or artist to anything else.
Easy.
Joyful.
Easy. Well, yeah. So me and Carl went out for a beer, and it was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, enjoy
We
myself.
started
yeah,
off,
it's good.
and you met my mate Robin, didn't you?
Yeah.
And some of the stories. Do you want to tell Steve some things about Robin that you
Robin,
learned?
do you know him well?
Yes.
Well, do you know about his worm problem as a kid?
Go on.
Right. He, what I can remember is he had worms as a kid. Not sure how you get him. He never answered me. He was getting a bit touchy about it. 'Cause
Right.
this is like the second time I met him. I think he was a bit annoyed that Ricky told me about his problem.
What
Yes.
now? What now? Straight away, you not being there, instinctively, what do you think went on with this?
Rather like when you told a group of people that Robin had once suckled milk from a cow's udder.
Yeah.
I told you that.
Yeah, did he mention that as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. My suspicion is that, like the cow story, the worm story is not true.
But
And
why?
Robin-
Why would he get so sort of uppity about it?
Well,
Because
imagine
it's
if
not true.
imagine if that wasn't the first time he'd done it. Imagine if he did that every single time he was with somebody for the first time and Robin was just met them. He will tell that story to anyone.
But they do say there's no smoke without fire.
Oh, Robin! I also told him.
That's a fable.
I also told him that the way Robin cured these worms
Yep.
was because the doctor told his mother, right, to hold a piece of ham or cheese near Robin's anus so the worms would come out for the food, and he believed it.
I'll tell you why, though.
I said to Robin used to sit on spam to try and get the worms out, and he believed it.
But Steve, right, do you remember that story about 3 or 4 years ago where there was some bloke in the army, he went away to somewhere, Vietnam,
That's about the word.
Shouldn't he have been fighting?
whatever,
Yeah.
right, and he walked through some lake, and I think he'd cut his toe or something on something, and some worm of some sort crawled in the gash,
Yeah.
and it was in his body, and the doctor said, we've got to get this out of your body. So what they did was, they said, right, the thinnest part or something of your body that things can crawl through is on the top of your head. So they wrapped
Where
some
the skull is.
so they wrapped some bacon.
No, they didn't!
They did.
Ah!
That's
Oh,
that
right.
thing.
So
Everyone.
he's gone in by the toe. So what we do is, I'll tell you what, that worm's probably heading straight for the head. We'll put a bit of bacon on it. The thinnest part of the body is the skull. Of course it's not the thinnest part of the body. It's where your brain case is, isn't it? It's the skull.
There was a reason for it, and it was like they stuck some bacon on his head. And
As ever, the vital piece of information, i.e. the reason, Carl seems to have forgotten.
because the worm, everyone likes to smell of bacon.
Oh,
including
even a
worms.
worm.
Again.
Even a Vietnamese lake worm. They
Oh, they love
Remember
bacon.
last week when I said about the little fella with the bone with no brain, and you were proved wrong?
No,
Please.
no. We were saying it wasn't a little fella. We were saying it was a stillborn child. It wasn't a little
You're
fella.
changing it now. You weren't having any of it last
Right,
week.
hang on a minute. I'm getting confused. There was a Vietnamese snake that went inside of a
No,
soldier.
worm.
A little like maggot or some sort that you have to get out of your body because it causes problems.
Yes, and so in order to get it out of the
He runs
body,
amok.
they strapped bacon to his head.
Yeah.
That is great. This doctor.
And did that work?
I think so. They had a picture of him smiling.
Oh, God, what, the worm or the bloke?
The bloke.
Oh, dear.
Honestly, I hope someone knows the story. And I
Right.
can it was about 3 years ago, I reckon.
Okay.
And, yeah, it did work.
GI bacon.
So what, the worm burrowed out of his head to get the bacon?
Get to the bacon.
Right. That's great.
So
I love that.
this is why when Robin was telling his story, I was a little bit disappointed if it wasn't true.
Right.
Because in a way,
You know Robin's never been to Vietnam.
No, but what do you really think that Robin, well, as Robin said at the time, Carl, why would I sit on ham, then tell Ricky Gervais? It's a very good point.
because if he was a kid, you do daft things like that as a kid.
Right.
You know
It's
what I
the
mean?
telling Ricky Gervais, though.
Yeah.
I mean, you might call up.
Yeah.
But no, I keep myself to myself.
Yeah.
Then you don't get bogged down in the office politics and stuff.
Yeah. Is there a lot of office politics here?
I don't know. I don't get involved in it.
Oh, yeah. Proved your point.
So when